Another beautiful baseball night in Atlanta. In fact, it's green night at the ballpark. We'll talk more about that later on this evening as we welcome the Nationals to town for Game 2 of a 3-game series. And all year long, Atlanta Braves baseball on Sports South is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff, and the low price. Hi again, friends. Chip Carey and my partner Joe Simpson, who obviously got the green night memo. Nice green shirt. Hopefully the Braves can pick up a win tonight and even up this series, but there was some bad news today. Jason Hayward's shoulder is still bothering him. An MRI will take place tomorrow. Jason, during batting practice today, showed his teammates where the discomfort was. Braves certainly hopeful that Jason will not have an extended absence in the lineup. Alex Gonzalez hitting second. Eric Hinske gets the start in right. But some good news, partner. Braves really hitting the ball well with runners in scoring position.
They've been doing a good job of that all year long, Chip, and it continues. In fact, there are some Braves guys in the top 6, as you see, 4 of them in the top 6 in the National League, hitting with key runners on base. They're coming through in the clutch. Brian McCann tops the list at 500. There were a couple of such hits last night. Even though the Braves didn't win, they continued their good work with the bats. And after trailing 7-1, they fought back to score 5 runs in the 8th inning and make a game of it. Chipper with an RBI hit, and of course the big hit on a high fastball. Dan Uggla came through with a big 3-run homer, and a good sign for Dan Uggla too that he may be coming around a little bit. Now, you mentioned Eric Hinske's in there. All he's doing right now, he's hitting 300 with men in scoring position, and remember, a lot of that is as a pinch hitter. He's also leading the team overall in hitting, so not a bad guy to throw out there when you need a replacement for Jason Hayward.
No doubt about it. Eric Hinske's had the hot hand at the plate for the Braves. We'll see if he can do it tonight against National starter John Lannon. He's one half of tonight's pitching matchup. We'll tell you about who's starting tonight for the Braves right after this. Minutes away from baseball, the Nationals and the Braves, Game 2. Chip and Joe back with you in a good pitching matchup tonight. Tommy Hansen for the Braves and longtime nemesis John Lannon for Washington.
That's putting it mildly. John Lannon has been a real pain in the neck for the Braves over the last several years. Last 4 games against the Braves, 3-1. He's 6-4 overall, and 4 of those wins have come in at Turner Field. That's more wins than any other opponent in the National League. Tommy Hansen, he's red hot too, and only 4 walks and 24 strikeouts in his last 3 starts. Looking for big things from Tommy tonight too. Should be a good hookup.
He's very, very well rested. We'll see what effect that has on Big Red for Atlanta, who tries to even up this series at a game apiece. One more break. First pitch and lineups coming right up from Turner Field. And Outdoors, by AT Uverse, by Delta Airlines, and by Ford. Back with you at Turner Field. Here come the Atlanta Braves and the Washington Nationals, second game of this 3-game series. The Nationals 17-18 on the year, and as you'd expect, no changes to their lineup. A big outburst for them last night. Most runs they've scored in 3 weeks. They line up the same way for Game 2 as they did last night when they scored 7 times.
And they'll be going against Tommy Hansen, who makes his 8th start of the year. 4-3, a 2.63 ERA. And how about this on Wednesdays? If you want something that's a little offbeat, he's 7-0 in his career on Wednesdays, and his last 3 starts have come on Wednesdays. A 1.49 overall ERA in that span. Lifetime against the Washington Nationals, 2-2. That includes a loss to them on April 2nd. Got beat 6-3 in a game that was rain delayed. His 4 keys to pitching success: hey, Tommy, it's Wednesday. That's all he needs to know. And handle the heat. It is a hot night here, and as we have seen in the past for Tommy, especially if he has any extended innings, this guy could sweat in an igloo. He gets hot, he gets overheated sometimes, so try to conserve some energy and make them quick innings.
Tommy hoping for a little more help defensively than Tim Hudson got last night, especially in the early innings tonight. Eric Hinske takes over for Jason Hayward in right field. And good to see Alex Gonzalez back after that strained groin suffered on Sunday night against the Phillies. Brian McCann behind the plate as well.
Yeah, Alex was out as early as 2:30, doing some running in the outfield, taking some ground balls, declared himself ready to go.
And speaking of ready to go, so is tonight's umpiring crew. Darryl Cousins has the balls and strikes. Jim Joyce, Ron Kulpa, and Jim Wolf, the umpire at third. So Roger Bernardino ready to go for Washington. Braves didn't lose any ground to the Phillies. They lost to the Marlins last night. 2-1 was that final. So the Braves start play today 4 games off the lead in the East. Washington 6 games back. As we mentioned, a game under 500.
Last time we saw Darryl Cousins behind the plate was April 22nd at San Francisco. Braves beat the Giants 4-1. That was a Tommy Hansen pitch game. And Darryl had a bit of a tight zone that day.
So Bernardina starts things off. And it is 86 degrees at the ballpark at first pitch. Pop fly, left side, and no play. Told you as well, it took the Nationals 32 games before they got the first and second hitters on in an inning, any inning, in a game this year. They did it last night in the first inning and scored an unearned run.
The errors certainly played a part in last night's game for them, setting up the 2 3-run homers.
Hansen would like to keep Bernardino off the base paths. And has a 2-2 count.
Oh, baby.
There's that tight zone.
Yeah. A little low. Had the plate. Brian made it look a whole lot better than it was.
First chance for Hinske. Bernardino retired. Tough right field, but no glasses for Eric and no trouble.
Must be off to his right a little bit, not in his way from where the hitter's backdrop is. Plus the shades with the hitter standing in the shade might make it a little hard to see the ball off the bat.
National shortstop Ian Desmond bats. Just 3 hits in his last 25 at bats. One of those came in the first inning yesterday. And another fly ball to right.
We mentioned the 2 errors that played a role in last night's game, Chip, but Tim Hudson admitted that this was a mistake. Brian McCann had actually signaled for a fastball, and Hudson didn't see that. Tim's admitted that I didn't see it. I thought he called for a changeup, thought I'd try to throw a changeup in, and, of course, Worth hammered it. And when he got back to the dugout, McCann said, well, what were you thinking? And he said, well, I was thinking maybe a changeup inside. And Brian said, well, that's why I called for a fastball. So Tim just missed the signal, and it, as he admitted to, he said it cost a 3-run homer.
Worth hasn't had many chances to hit with runners on base this year. He came into this series with only 9 RBIs. He added 3 with that shot you saw. And to your point, you're right. It's not just the infielders or outfielders who can commit errors.
And that was a point that I think when everybody was trying to get Tim to say, yeah, you know what, the errors behind me kind of hurt or whatever, which Tim's never going to do. He admitted, he said, you know, all the mistakes weren't just physical mistakes. And Brian's question was made in such a way, it wasn't what were you thinking, it was like what were you thinking there when you threw that pitch.
The ball got loose in left field. Martin Prado corralled that. Three balls, no strikes. Green light, and Worth hammers a single to left. So Tommy will go to the stretch here in the first inning, and Adam LaRoche comes up.
To the music of La Cucaracha. Keep an eye on Worth. He's got 4 stolen bases, and he likes to run. We've talked before about Hansen trying to make his move to the plate out of the stretch a little quicker. Last year among the league leaders in a category he didn't want to lead for Tommy, and that was stolen base success.
One ball, one strike to Adam.
Oh, Mark Bowman. Bowman. Writer for MLB.com. Don't lean too far, Mark. You'll take out half a section.
Worth talked last night about wanting to use his speed. He's got a good lead at first, and there he goes. And he picked a perfect pitch to run. And without a throw, he's in at second base with 2 out.
Brian McCann was smart not to even throw. Watch how many steps. 1, 2, 3, almost 4 steps before Tommy even let the ball go. And then on the slow curve, no chance for McCann.
LaRoche has 14 RBIs. He's trying for his 15th here.
One for 2 last night with a couple of walks. That one out he made was a rocket, you might remember, right at Freddie Freeman. Nice stop. First base open. You're behind 3-2. Don't have to groove one here to LaRoche. Got a rookie on deck who's a right-handed hitter.
Straightaway center and playable for Nate McLeod. Tommy Hansen gets 3 fly ball outs in the top of a scoreless first. but leave Jason Worth stranded. Now the Braves come up for skipper Freddie Gonzalez. The Braves 20-17 on the year. Jason Hayward MRI tomorrow. That means Alex Gonzalez moves into his spot in the batting order. He'll bat second. Eric Hinske is in right field. He'll bat in front of center fielder Nate McLouth and pitcher Tommy Hansen.
And John Lannon on the mound, the left-hander, 2-4 on the year with a 5.09 ERA. 26 years old, 6'4", 215 out of Manhasset, New York, right outside New York City. He's in his 4th year in the big leagues, and again, a real Braves beater. 6-4 in his career. He's won 3 straight against Atlanta. And his 4 keys to pitching success, no strikeouts. And by that, he wants to pitch to contact. He got in trouble last year and got sent to AAA because he was nitpicking too much. And don't go changing. Because he's got a good changeup. Make sure you use it tonight.
On key and everything. It was spectacular.
Well, if it was the first time in my life.
Martin Prado will start things off for the Braves. 2-hit night for him, including a solo home run. Concerned at all about the Braves' struggles as far as batting average is concerned against lefties?
218 as a team.
Lannon deflects it to Hairston at third, and he fumbles the ball. And Prado will have an infield hit.
Sounded like Lannon took this off the wrist right above his glove. And then over to Hairston, who thought it was a highlight game. But his cesta just not quite big enough to get it over to first. The Braves are 7-4 against left-handed starters.
That's what's so weird about it.
Yeah, but they're only hitting .218 as a team and only slugging .336. So not much power either.
So Alex Gonzalez back in the lineup, and he's our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot. Very good luck against John Lannon in his career.
Beginning play tonight, left-handers hitting only 182 against Lannon. He's only given up 1 homer to a left-handed batter in 33 at-bats. Right-handers, though, are hitting 339 against him. And he's coming off a start against Philadelphia. It was one of his worst in 2 years. He only lasted 2 innings, gave up 7 hits and 6 runs, and got beat by the Phillies 7-3.
But that's what's so frustrating for the Braves. This guy can't beat the Phillies, but the Braves can't beat Lannon.
Yeah.
And Alex down on strikes. 1 on, 1 out for Chipper.
He's got a good downer curveball and the changeup. Got Alex to chase the curveball there. He actually got sent back to AAA about midway through last season, maybe a little earlier than midway, and worked down there on pitching to contact. And that's what he came back. When he came back, he pitched real well for the Nationals, saying, I don't care if I ever strike out another guy. I want the batters to put the ball in play.
I think we speculated about this when we were in Washington about Lannon. As shaky as the Nationals' infield defense was there some reluctance on his part to pitch to contact?
Had to be part of it. Plus, I think when you are a young pitcher and you come up through the minors, getting to the big leagues, you think you can still dominate and strike out major league hitters like perhaps you did in the minor leagues. It's not always the case. And just like hitters have to make adjustments, so do pitchers. I think where the Braves' batting average as a team would be against lefties if it weren't for Chipper.
3 balls, no strikes.
Got to give the lineup credit last night for making a game of it in the 8th inning and coming within a whisker of tying it on Conrad's shot in the 9th.
2 on, 1 out for McCann. I thought Brooks's ball was gone last night.
So did I. So did the bench, apparently. Eric Hinske was standing next to Freddie Gonzalez, and he thought it was gone, too.
Here's your hottest Braves hitter, Brian McCann, a 10-game hitting streak working tonight.
And hot against the Nationals this year. He's 7 for 15 against them. Again, the team with the highest batting average as a group, and Brian McCann, Chipper, and Martin 1, 3, and 5.
That's well hit to right. Worth going back. Tried to deke. It's high off the fence. 1 run scores. Here comes Chipper. The throw into second. It's a double, and the Braves lead by 2.
Hit a little over 500 now with runners in scoring position, and he's hit in 11 straight. Sounded like a firecracker went off when he hit this one. Great extension on a fastball down, and came within a letter of hitting it into the bullpen.
So it's the Braves' turn to score first in a game in this series. And now Dan Uggla will try to add to a 2-0 Braves lead in the first.
How's his sound? Man, that was crisp, wasn't it?
I hope the fans who have a chance to go down on the field before the games and listen to and watch batting practice really focus on the listening to part when guys like Chipper and McCann swing the bat during BP. It does sound different than other players.
Yeah, it does. Jason Hayward has that sound too. Hope Jason's shoulder is nothing serious. I asked Freddie before the game, I said, why wait till tomorrow for the MRI? Are the doctors waiting like for the inflammation to go down or something? He goes, no, Joe. He said, couldn't get him in.
Uggla breaks his bat. And LaRoche digs out the throw from third for the second out.
They couldn't get him in for an MRI until tomorrow.
Oh, I thought you were saying he was too big for the tube.
No, no, I don't think that's the case.
But hopefully Jason and the rest of Braves country will get some relief once we find out the results of that picture tomorrow.
Yeah, let's hope so. Did I hear correctly in Braves Live when he was talking to Jerome that he said the numbness was gone? Is that what he said?
Yes.
That's a good sign.
Here's Freddie with 2 outs.
Well, despite the fact the Braves are struggling offensively, I mean, average-wise against left-handed pitching, the Braves have decided we're just going to load up the lineup with lefties against Landon tonight. Freeman, Hinske, and McLeod back-to-back. Having a good start to the month, though. A little 2-out RBI here would be nice.
He has 12 in total for the year. One ball, 2 strikes. And Ramos caught it after it was tipped by Freddie Freeman. Braves, though, score a couple of runs. An infield hit, a walk, and a ringing double off the wall and right. And the Braves lead by 2 after 1. Are brought to you in part by Geico, by the Georgia Lottery, by AT and by Sonic. Great start tonight at Turner Field. Braves have scored the first 2 runs in support of Tommy Hansen. And a big week of baseball continues in Atlanta this weekend. The Delta Civil Rights game will come your way the first time here at Turner Field. The Braves will take on the Phillies. And we'll celebrate baseball's contributions to the civil rights movement. Saturday's the Negro Leagues tribute and the ludicrous post-game concert. Sunday is the Delta Civil Rights game. For more info, visit braves.com/civil rights.
Good pitching matchups all weekend long, too, with the Phillies.
Beachy and Hamels on Friday, Jurgens and Blanton on Saturday, Hudson and Halliday on Sunday. Two quick strikes on catcher Wilson Ramos.
Derek Lowe says his foot is much better. They will tape and bandage it. Make sure that he has no more problems with that blister on his push-off foot.
Ramos, a big part of the Nationals' future. Got him from the Twins last season. That was the deal that sent Matt Capps to Minnesota.
Big is right, too. 6 feet, 220. Another good player, another good catcher out of Venezuela. More balls than strikes so far for Tommy.
That's stroked into left center field. And Ramos will have an extra base hit. And stands at second for Lance Nix with nobody out.
That one was loud, too. Fastball, inner third, up. And he does with it what a major league hitter's supposed to do with it, not miss it.
So Lance Nix stands in. Nix hit a 3-run homer in the 4th for Washington last night. And he singles to right. Ramos will stride around third, and he'll score the first run of the game for Washington. Nix, an RBI single. It's now a 2-1 Braves game.
Not a good start for Tommy with location. He gave up a couple of hard hit balls in the first inning. Worth's single was on a 3-0 count, so okay. He got an easy one to pick on, but otherwise he's been missing to the middle of the plate, and the Nationals are putting good swings on it.
1 in, 1 on, none out for Danny Espinosa. Here's our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard.
Most RBIs among National League rookies. Espinosa at the top of the list. Freddie Freeman with 12. Anxious to see Darwin Barney play. Tommy Hansen pitched on Wednesday, April 27th in San Diego. Pitched a good game. Then he didn't pitch until the Wednesday last week, first game of the doubleheader against Milwaukee. And here he is on another Wednesday. But he said he played catch a couple of times on flat ground in between. Did his bullpen work on Sunday. But he's only given up 2 runs in those starts combined at San Diego and against Milwaukee.
So now here in the second inning, we ask again, rest versus rust. 2 more strikes than balls out of the strike zone for Hansen so far in this game.
Yeah, he's climbed ahead, but location, will continue to monitor that, see if he finds a good comfort zone, a release point that sometimes makes it hard to find when you don't pitch once a week.
Alex deep short. Ugla stretches, turns, but no chance to get Espinosa. That guy at short gives you a chance to turn 2 on almost anything hit his way.
Last night we talked about how, what's going on with so many bobbled balls and errors, but somehow Alex just makes the world right.
Man, we've said it. Have you seen him get a bad hop?
No. And 994 to 990 is a lot. That percentage is a lot.
I wonder how many more chances Alex has over Paul Janisch to handle the baseball at shortstop.
A bunch. That's just a wild guess. But I'm going to say a bunch.
Highly scientific term turned in the second inning. Hairston's batting 8th, and he's getting the bulk of the playing time with Ryan Zimmerman out with abdominal surgery, and he's swinging a hot bat the last 5 games. And Paul Krause in our truck tells us that Alex Gonzalez has handled 59 more chances than Paul Janisch at shortstop.
See, and if it was like 52 or 3, that wouldn't be a bunch. That would just be a large quantity.
A smidge. But that's, here we are, 34, 35 games into the year. As Hairston shoots one to right. That's more than a chance per game more handled by the Braves shortstop.
Hairston hit the ball on the nose last night and lined to center right at McLeod, and now he hits one on the button and it slices right back to Hinske. Some tough luck for him.
Asterisk on that stat too, though, with Janisch. Gonzalez has played 12 more games, so naturally he's going to have more chances. as Lannon bats. But I think the point we're both trying to make is throw out zone ratings and all that stuff. That guy at shortstop for Atlanta is playing maybe the best of any shortstop in the league.
I think without question, and I think he makes everybody else better around him.
Lannon doesn't have a hit this year. He's 0 for 13. Runner goes. And Espinosa back to first now with a 2-2 count.
That's something you rarely see, is a runner take off with 2 outs with the pitcher up there, because if he gets thrown out, then you got the pitcher leading off the next inning. But they feel so confident getting good jumps off Tommy Hansen that even in this situation, they're willing to run.
With 2 strikes, Espinosa holds, and Tommy has his first strikeout in this game. Washington scores a run. Braves by 1. Night for the Braves was that man, Christian Martinez, out of the bullpen, was terrific.
He held them at bay to give the Braves a chance to catch up in the 8th inning. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts in 3 innings, and that's the subject of our Geico quote of the day from his manager about Martinez last night. He said he gave us a hell of a 3 innings, kept those guys right there, and gave us a chance to come back and get back into the game. So way to go, Christian.
And we made the point last night, he hadn't pitched in 2 weeks for the Braves, and really had a rough road trip because of all the extra inning games. Lost one of those out in San Diego and was frankly in tears. That's how much he was hurt by letting his teammates down, in his words.
Well, I think his spirits were picked up last night from everybody with his performance.
So the Braves lead by a run. Eric Hinske starts it off. And Eric's got a hot bat working. 5-game hit streak, 6 for 10 with 2 homers in that stretch.
Freddie had a choice tonight. He has Joe Mather, a right-handed hitter over there that he could have used in the lineup tonight, but he said, I want to go with the hot hand, lefty or not. And this is only the 3rd at bat of the year for Hinske against left-handed pitchers. He's 0 for 2.
Remember last year when the Braves had that incredible month of May. Braves won 20 of 28 games in May last year. And Hinske had as much a part of that as Troy Gloss did. Eric hit .339 last May with 4 homers, 14 RBIs in 23 games. And now has a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. In the air to center, but Bernardina is there. 1 out.
He's made a couple of good pitches on Freeman for the strikeout, and now Hinske for the flyout. Inside fastballs that he was able to run in on their hands a little bit.
Nate McLouth hitting .258 for the year, but that doesn't tell the whole story. I think he likes batting in front of the pitcher.
8th spot in the lineup's been very good for him, as you see here.
And on cue, he singles with 1 out.
Stayed back, was real patient on this pitch, and a mistake from Lannon. Like a slider that stayed up and didn't break much, and Nate was very appreciative.
I don't know if you could put into words how hard it is to hit well in the 8th spot in the National League. I mean, do you really see that many good pitches to hit batting 8th?
Not really, and especially when there's guys on base, and you're just not going to get much of a chance. I'd rather work around you and pitch to the pitcher.
Tommy gets the bunt down. Good to see that. His 4th sacrifice.
Got to do that to help yourself, and gives Prado a chance with 2 outs to get that run back. Had the bat out in front at the top of the zone. Well done.
Martin took one back up the middle and scored in the 1st inning for the Braves. As we showed you, he one of those top hitters in the league with runners in scoring position. Popped into right, and Jason Worth is under it, and that will retire the side in the Braves' 2nd. Good ball game at Turner Field. Braves in front by a 2-1 score. Baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff, the low price. Chip and Joe with you for Green Night at the ballpark.
Getting ready to pinch hit, I guess, Peter Moylan. Some news. I guess there was good news and bad news from Peter's back prognosis. He is going to have surgery, expected to happen next Tuesday in Los Angeles. Dr. Watkins out there. But Peter told me himself tonight, he said, they're saying 12 weeks. That means I could be back pitching before the end of the season. So we'll hope for that.
We'll hope for relief for the back problems. I can't imagine what that's like to try to play through that.
Chris Medlin sitting next to him, and he's throwing off the mound, working in the bullpen. Braves are hoping to have him back in August. That would be great, too.
And if that were to happen, think of the options and the fresh arms the Braves would have for the stretch run.
That'd be a great value for Freddie Gonzalez.
Short hopped at second. And Bernardina out on a close play.
Dan got an in-between hop, and it wasn't hit that hard, so he's got to handle the hop and then get his feet down so he can get rid of the baseball because Bernardina's flying down the line.
Ian Desmond flied out his first time. He has just 3 hits in his last 26 at-bats. Desmond, a third-round pick in 2004. Out of Sarasota High School. And quickly behind 0-2.
Desmond's been a guy, too, over the last couple of years since he came up, has been a tough out for the Braves, figuring out how to pitch him. But not this year. He's 1 for 18 this year. 6 career homers, though, against Atlanta.
He has 17 homers for his career.
Yeah, 6 against the Braves.
But that's not surprising. We said last night, the Nationals, since moving to Washington, have really been a thorn in the side of the Braves. And I wasn't here, but you go back to the days when they were the Expos.
I mean, just put Expos unis on them, and that explains a lot about this record. Montreal always gave the Braves fits, and look at that. A 6-game over 500 record against the Braves, and they just get hammered by the Phillies.
Desmond a 1 for 2 night.
They don't have a positive record against anybody else in the division. Marlins work them over pretty good, too. So that's the only thing I can hang my hat on. They're the Expos in disguise.
Well, this year's series, no different. 2-2.
Yeah.
Dating back to 1969, the Expos/Nationals franchise has had a 500 or better head-to-head season series 23 times. Here's Worth, 1 on, 1 out. Another big jump. Bryan's throw is on time, but late. And Desmond has his 11th steal.
And you could see Desmond over there. He couldn't wait to go. He was itchy when he got his lead. Real quick feet, quick crossover step. Oh, came off the bag a little bit there. Looked like Ugla kept the tag on him, too.
But Ron Kulpa with the call. Tying run in scoring position for Worth.
Take another look at this slide. Now watch, Desmond's top foot goes over the bag. Back foot slides off. Tag was on him when he tried to reach back for the base. I think he was out.
I think we need a mea culpa. Dangerous pitch, 3-0.
Had a great year last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Led the league in doubles. So it wasn't just home runs he was doing damage with.
Over by the Braves dugout and out of play. Only time will tell if the 7-year deal was the right deal for the Nationals franchise. But when you look at the young catcher, the young combination up the middle, Zimmerman at third. Bryce Harper is going to be here sooner rather than later. Steven Strasburg. You add Jason Worth to that piece of the puzzle. Nationals have a chance to be a pretty formidable Eastern foe here in the next couple of years.
In some ways, they're sending a message that I'm not sure was quite the reputation early on in their existence, and that is we are going to spend some money. They did it to get Strasburg. They did it to get Bryce Harper, and certainly did it for Worth. So they haven't been shy.
Worth is out on strikes. Very slow walk back to the dugout, and Hansen second to the game.
3-2 curveball. Like a pretty good pitch, and Fox Tracks tells us it was. So you can try to duck the pitch as Worth was trying to do there, but it didn't help. Good call by McCann, good execution by Hansen.
Love that we're seeing the high strike called from time to time again in the game. And here's Adam LaRoche with 2 outs.
Made a good pitch on Worth, but don't let up here. This guy's always been tough in the clutch.
Adam hit 25 homers, knocked in 100 with the Diamondbacks last year.
And again, a little command issue with his fastball. Some of them are getting away from him tonight. At the second or third, really good stop by McCann with runners on base tonight already.
Is this the best he's moved laterally in his big league career?
I think so. Beginning to heat up this warm weather, unexpected warm weather here in the middle of May is going to take a toll on anybody, especially the catcher.
Now a full count.
Got away with one there. Looked like a changeup that he left up in LaRoche's eyes. Threw Worth a 3-2 curveball. Let's see what he does here with Adam.
Tried it again, but this one too high and tight. First walk of the game, 2 on, 2 outs for Ramos, who ripped a double to left center field.
Talk a lot about Brian McCann and his numbers as a catcher and how good they are from his position, leading that position in a lot of different categories. But Ramos right on his heels in batting average, coming in at .301, and he's done some damage against Tommy Hansen in his career. 3 for 3 now with that double.
Well, this guy had a very impressive minor league hitting pedigree too. He was a .283 minor league hitter with the Minnesota organization. Almost a year ago to the day, came to the big leagues for the first time with the Twins. That was May 2nd and 3rd of last year. Had 7 hits in his first 2 games. And was the first big leaguer in 68 years to do that, believe it or not. Manny Fernandez of the 1952 Boston Braves was the last player with that much success in his first 2 games.
And everybody on his team was telling him it's just not that easy. And he's only 23.
That will be the other fun thing about this division to think about in the years to come. The Braves are young, the Marlins are young, the Nationals are young.
And as we talked about the Phillies last weekend, they're getting some age on them. Still an excellent team, but they're growing old together.
Little pop. And Ramos's perfect run against Tommy Hansen ends in the top of inning number 3. Nationals strand a pair on a beautiful warm night at Turner Field. The Braves in the bottom of the third inning. Atlanta 2, Washington 1. And time for tonight's AT Universe trivia question. Jason Worth, 346 average at Turner Field's the third highest in stadium history. What two hitters have a higher average here?
Someday there's going to be a question where you only have to get one guy.
It's just, they're trying to whittle away our ridiculously high winning percentage.
It's working.
Dan Uggla, didn't he have like a 350 average here?
Thinking Barry Bonds. I'm thinking Ryan Howard with all of his great work here.
Here's Alex, who struck out to start his night at the plate. And now a bouncer to second for the first out. There had to be some old Expos who gave the Braves trouble here.
You'd think like Jose Vidro or somebody like
Orlando
that.
Cabrera.
Yeah. I was thinking, didn't Cal Ripken go like 9 for 9 here one night?
He might have. Larry Walker. We're hearing a ringing silence out of the truck. So
Nothing.
I don't think we've gotten anything right yet. Brian McCann's already extended his hitting streak. He's our Delta Airlines on deck hitter. Hoping Chipper can reach. Desmond throws on the run, 2 out. Brian is 13 for 36 during his now 11-game hit streak.
This guy loves to play, doesn't he?
Yep. I loved your story about Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow out in San Francisco about Brian.
Yeah, they both said that he is their favorite player. Part of it was because Brian gave rave reviews to AT Park and to the city, loves going to San Francisco, but mostly about his play and the way he goes about his business.
Hope you fans at home who come to the ballpark or online will vote for Brian McCann and the rest of the Braves for the 2011 All-Star Game. It's a perennial visit for the Braves catcher.
It's a popularity contest in many cases, but not for Brian McCann. He earns it. Already 5 All-Star appearances for him.
And the MVP last year, the All-Star Game.
Helped give the National League his swing alone gave the National League home field advantage thanks to the National League's win. Home field advantage in the World Series.
Brian fighting hard with 2 outs. Bases empty. Third inning. Braves scored 2 runs in the first. McCann's double chased home Martin Prado and Chipper Jones. And no matter the resolution of this at bat, all these pitches that Brian is fighting off is forcing the pitch count of Lannon to rise on a hot night. That's important.
Yeah, but by comparison, this is his 40th pitch. Tommy Hansen's thrown 61. Good at bat. Fought off some real tough breaking balls, some off-speed pitches.
And on the 8th pitch, Bryan will ground to second, and the Braves are out in order in the bottom of the 3rd. 2-1 your score. Turner Field in Atlanta. And here is what we're talking about. Big story at the ballpark. Ecovy is introducing a rainwater collection system here at the ballpark.
1,500 gallons. It actually collects the rainwater right off the roof of one of the buildings out in the center field plaza. And then it is filtered and ready for use for irrigation or cleaning.
And they say the amount of captured water at the ballpark expected to exceed 10,000 gallons for the remainder of this year and more than 20,000 gallons over a full season. So we salute the folks at Ecovy and the Braves on Green Night tonight. Lance Nix on the first pitch. 1 out.
Boy, Tommy Hansen could use some first pitch outs.
Fans save 38% off a pair of outfield tickets for tomorrow's Braves Nationals game. Save $18 and get great lower outfield seats for the series wrap-up here in Atlanta. To order, visit Braves.com/ticket specials today. Here's Danny Espinosa. Tommy looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the game.
Keeps missing to that side of the plate, to the left-handed hitters especially. I don't know if he's pulling off the ball a little bit, falling off to the first base side of the mound some. It's causing his arm to drag, but he's missing away and especially high and away.
And he's just walked his second man of the game. And that'll bring Hairston to the plate.
Now, it's not like he's walking the ballpark, but he's sure going to a lot of deep counts to get his outs.
Is that a product of the long layoff?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, it certainly didn't bother him last week when he pitched so well in the first game of that doubleheader. He had had a week layoff from that, but tonight just not quite as sharp with his command. But neither was Tim Hudson last night. And he had had a longer than normal time off between starts.
There's a first pitch strike.
Hey, you know what? That was a good slide step, too. That was quicker to the plate. Espinosa likes to run. Remember, he was running with 2 out and Lannon at the plate back in the second inning.
A very late time called. Two.
He's had excellent command of his breaking stuff tonight. He's getting a lot of outs with that.
To center. Espinosa back to first. John Lannon hits with 2 out.
Hansen so far this year has made 7 starts coming into play tonight. 5 of them are on 4 days rest. Normal rest for a starting pitcher in a 5-man rotation. In those 5 games, he's 3-2, but his ERA is 2.01. In the 2 games where he's had 6 or more rests, it's not like he's pitching on short rest, but actually longer rest. His ERA is 4.66. Twice as high. But the fact remains that he's won his last 3 outings, and a couple of those have been with a week in between, and he might well win tonight. He's up 2-1.
Espinosa's running. The pitch outside. The throw is kicked by Alex Gonzalez, and the Nationals running wild on Tommy Hansen.
That one looked like that short hop caught Alex either in the ankle or the shin bone. I'm sure it didn't feel too good.
So again, Washington running with 2 outs and the pitcher in the batter's box. Risky play didn't cost them in the second inning. And Lannon still hitless for the year. Chance to help himself, but now behind in the count, 1-2. And Lannon down on strikes. 3 strikeouts for Tommy Hansen. He's through 4 innings with a high pitch count, but a lead of 1 run.
A replay as the Braves lead at 2-1 on Hansen on that last steal. Now, then we talk about him being slow to the plate, but what I want the fans to watch, this is going to be in real speed. It's not so much the leg kick. I mean, as part of it is the leg kick and the strike, but watch how deliberate his arm action is going out of the glove and then back to the throwing motion. That's real deliberate, and that's part of what helps them get a better jump. Even with the slide step, it takes him a little bit of time to get that arm where he wants it to put it in the slot to throw it, and that's one of the reasons why they're getting good jumps.
If it's the leg problem, you can slide step to correct that.
Which he did a couple of times earlier in the game.
Can you correct the cocking mechanism?
I don't know if you want to do that. I don't know if you want to mess with that. That's his natural throwing motion, and it's a pretty good one.
We're told by the truck it's a 2nd and 2/3 for Hansen from glove to release.
Actually, well, anything over 1.5 considered good for a base stealer, especially if somebody's in the 1.8 or 1.9 range. That's real slow. So if he's at, what was it?
A 2/2 and 2/3,
so 166.
Yeah.
That's not. It's not horrible, but it's not good.
Ugla adding the count now. 3 balls and a strike. Braves looking for a base runner as Lannon has retired 5 straight.
We've shown coaches before, either in the dugout or at first base, that have stopwatches, and that's what their timing is from the time they break out of their stretch to the release point.
Another broken bat, and Hansen on the run. Can't get Ugla. I don't know if he knew what to field, the bat or the ball.
Well, there's nothing he could do. Ian Desmond even looked at him after the play and threw his hands in the air like, what are you going to do? We've talked all season long about how much Dan Ugla hustles down the line. Here's a case where he gets a base hit.
So his first of the night, Braves 4th, and Freddie Freeman bats with nobody out.
Second time Dan's broken his bat like that and grounded to third.
Freddie enjoyed his first 3-hit game as a big leaguer on Sunday night in Philly. 1 for 4 here last night. As struck out in his lone plate appearance in Game 2 of the series.
There's that pitch that's been working for him on the lefties tonight. And one of these at bats, either McCann, Freeman, Hinske, or McLeod's going to be sitting on that in a real tough spot, and they're going to be ready for that fastball in. It's going to go to the well once too often.
Well, let's manage along with Freddie. Braves lead, nobody out, full count. Run.
You know me. Send him. Go, go, go. He's got a left-handed pitcher, though, so you're going to have to make sure you don't get picked off. and expect Freddie to put it in play, but go anyway.
Wow. Lannon thought that was good enough. You mentioned the tight strike zone. Nationals thought they had Freeman out on strikes. Instead, it's ball 4.
Remember that low pitch earlier tonight that he didn't give to Tommy Hansen? Very similar spot right there. Darryl Cousins, consistent. Fox Tracks agrees with him. Good call.
Chance for big damage now. 2 on, nobody out. Eric didn't like that call.
That is absolute best when there's runners on base. That's the way he likes it.
This one popped up, shallow center. 1 out. Lannon might have broken his bat.
Yeah, Eric popped up to center his first time up when the ball got in on him a little bit, which is rare for that to happen. And I think able to do that again.
Here's McLouth. Nate singled his first time up.
Another one of those guys with great numbers with runners in scoring position, hitting over 400.
One ball, one strike. Lannon looks a little exasperated.
He does. I was just going to say, he looks a little frustrated this inning. Steve McCaddy asking Ramos where those pitches were.
I think they've had the plate. They just look low. To the right side, LaRoche will have only one play. Ugla to third, Freeman to second, Tommy Hansen to the batter's box, and 2 out.
Well, they got first base open. Maybe they'll pitch around Tommy and bring Prado up. Probably not.
Probably not. I like the way you think, though. That's why Jim Riggleman's down there.
Yeah.
And you're
right
here. Tommy sacrificed his first time up. Braves trying to gain ground on somebody ahead of them in the division. The Marlins and Phillies are playing again tonight. As I told you, Florida beat the Phillies 2-1 yesterday. And they're beating them again tonight. 1-0 in the 4th down in Miami.
Hanley Ramirez trying to break out of his 6-week slump. He's hit a homer. Ricky Nolasco pitching for Florida against Cliff Lee.
ball, 2 strikes. Braves start play tonight, as we told you, 4 games off the division lead. 2 games behind the second place Marlins and 2 games ahead of the 4th place Nationals.
Chip, we had that Sunday school session with Brian Snitker a couple of weeks ago. Here's a situation. Check out how shallow the outfielders are playing for Tommy Hansen. This is one of those situations with runners in scoring position, even with 2 out, where the third base coach assesses what he sees, knowing these guys are shallow, and that he's got a slower runner at second and Freddie Freeman if there is a hit. But you got to be aware how many outs, how many, what your speed is on the bases, and where the defense is playing, and Brian's very good at that.
Toward third. Oh, nice pickup. And that retires the side. Braves put the first 2 runners on, but can't push across a 3rd run. 2-1 game as we head to the 5th. It was a sultry 86 degrees tonight at first pitch. Braves enjoying a 2-1 lead after 4, and the Braves and the Salvation Army are partnering to support storm victims throughout the Southeast. Volunteers will collect funds and needed items at Braves home games through May 17th. Also, fans can text GIVE, G-I-V-E, to the number 80888 to donate $10 to the Salvation Army Tornado Disaster Relief Effort. For more info, visit braves.com/donate.
Again, it may not be on the front pages anymore, but it certainly doesn't diminish the need from people, so don't forget.
Top of the Washington order in the 5th, Bernardina, Desmond, and Jason Worth. Nationals are looking for a leadoff hitter. Bernardina getting a chance to play because Rick Ankiel is injured.
He had a 3-way fight for that center field job in spring training. Niger Morgan competing with Rick Ankiel and Bernardina. And when Ankiel won the job, they dealt Niger Morgan to Milwaukee. Bernardina went to AAA.
High fly ball, right center field, tailing away from Hinske. Eric on the run, tracks it down. What a catch!
Had a baby. Just got to let the big semi go. 18-wheeler. That away. And the fans appreciative. So is Tommy Hansen. Nice catch.
The semi? I love it. Desmond hits. He's 1 for 2.
You can go diesel if you'd prefer.
Yeah.
Peter, you better hope Eric doesn't see that.
Oh, you know he will. Up the middle. That's Alex territory. No trouble, 2 out. We keep saying it, and I know I'm guilty of saying it almost every night. I never realized how good a defensive shortstop Alex Gonzalez was until this year.
Love watching him play.
Two outs.
The way he moved on that grounder looked like he was 100%. No problems with that groin.
Now Tommy, with one more pitch, could finally have that 1-2-3 inning he's been looking for. Popped up foul. Worth stays alive.
Tommy told me about a pitcher that's pitching tonight for the Angels named Chatwood. That is a family friend of the Hansens. He's, I think, a couple of years younger than Tommy. But, I mean, it's like they were such good friends. They were like members of each other's family. And if this all holds rotation-wise, they might hook up against each other when the Angels play the Braves out in Anaheim.
That's our next road trip, right?
Yeah. He was already counting up the days and spots and said that might happen. It would be really great for both sides.
Well, they won't get to hit against each other because we'll get to use the DH. Or if you prefer, we'll have to use the DH.
Yeah, there you go.
2-2. Yeah, it's a weird road trip for the Braves. We've got Arizona, Anaheim, and then Pittsburgh. Tommy handles a funny spinning bouncing ball, and there indeed is that 1-2-3 inning. Halfway through the ball game. Top of the order coming up. Looking for some insurance.
Great running catch by Eric Hinske for the first out of the 5th inning. Long way to go. Ball was moving away from him, and he stayed with it and held on. And who's the first to greet him? Jason Hayward when he got back to the dugout. And a nice reception all around.
And for the record, Peter Moylan nowhere to be found.
Oh, no, was he? I thought he was there. But maybe you're right.
So a super play helped Tommy Hansen to a 1-2-3, top of the 5th. Now the top of the order for the Braves comes up, trying to extend this 1-run lead. Big Braves fan Debbie Griffiths hoping that Prado can start off this 5th inning in good fashion. And Martin did.
That was an odd one. I'm not sure what the pitch was, but Martin hit a changeup back to him. See, he was flinching and trying to get ready for it, but the ball hadn't gotten there yet. And then he just fanned on the effort to glove it. Another 2-hit night for Martin.
What are the Braves when he has 2 or more hits?
15-2, 11-2.
Now Alex bats. Strike 1.
Tried to go the other way. Nice try. Came in hitting .290 against left-handers.
Another chance at right, but a little late foul. 0-2. That's the same kind of pitch that struck Alex out in the 1st inning. 1 out.
I think Alex was more upset with the 2nd pitch that he chased a ball in that sequence on the 2nd pitch that got him in a hole.
Chipper's walked and scored. He's also grounded out tonight.
It's funny. One of the keys was Lannon, no strikeouts. He wants to pitch to contact, and yet in the inning when he gave up the 2 runs, he had 2 strikeouts. That was the first strikeout since then. And no runs allowed.
Well, that means Chipper will split a gap or hit one over the wall, and the Braves will add to their lead. Hairston at 3rd. 1 there, 2 there. Lannon continues to be tough, but he's trailing in this game by a 2-1 count. Good-looking crowd tonight at Turner Field. Braves enjoy a 2-1 lead, trying to even up this series at a game apiece. And, Joe, we're playing a Washington ball club that's won 7 of its last 12 games, comes in only 1 game under 500, and has played just 2 teams with losing records all year long. I didn't know that one.
No, I didn't either. It's a much improved ball club. I before the season started, I picked them to finish 4th, which would be a climb up 1 rung in the ladder. I thought they'd finish ahead of the Mets. That remains to be seen, but they've got some good young players, and Jim Riggleman has done an excellent job of kind of molding this team to play the game the right way.
I think you made a really good point last night when talking about the Nationals club. They know they're not going to win the division, or at least they shouldn't this year. Their best ever record as a Washington Nationals team was 81-81. 2009, they won 59 games. Last year, they won 69 games. And your point was just continue to show improvement.
But what year was the 81 and 81? Do you know that off the top of your head?
2005.
Okay. It seems to me that team had several veterans on it. You know, Christian Guzman. I don't know if Vinny Castilla was playing for them then. That was probably after Vinny. But it wasn't a young, prospect-loaded team. It was kind of a team that you would expect to play good right now, but not win any championships. It's going to look good on paper. Fans are going to come watch those guys play. But this team is being built now for the long haul and for championships.
Yeah, I mean, they were just a couple years removed from being the Expos.
There you go. If Vinny Castillo was on that team, along with Jose Vidro, Jose Guillen, Brad Wilkerson, Brian Schneider. I mean, those were Expos.
Sure. We'll count to LaRoche leading off the Nationals 6th. And he will ground out to second. 6 in a row set down by Big Red tonight. And here's Ramos. He's the only National to score in the game. Well, Jim Riggleman is a disciple of the Cardinals system. That's where he was born and raised as a professional player and as a coach. He's coached in LA. He's coached various places in the big leagues. Managed, of course, the Padres and the Cubs. But you can see the fingerprints of the way the Cardinals used to play. A lot of runners in motion, solid fundamental defensive. Whitey Herzog was the real influence for Jim.
He loved Whitey Herzog and certainly admired and respected Tony La Russa too. And we send our best to Tony La Russa, who is on the shelf and not on the trip with the Cardinals in Chicago, battling shingles.
Alex, look at him take his time with a catcher running.
And even to the backhand.
Now, you know, if Tony La Russa is unable to manage in the Cubs-Cardinals series, that he's not feeling well at all.
Well, he'd been diagnosed as pink eye, conjunctivitis perhaps, until I think he had some tests run at the Mayo Clinic, and they determined it was shingles in his eye, and I just can't imagine how much pain he's been going through with that.
And it's been termed an indefinite leave for Tony. He'll take as much time as is needed to take care of that problem. And a line drive off the bat of Lance Nix is in the right field corner. And Nix has his second hit of the game. And that interrupts a stretch of 7 straight retired by Tommy Hansen.
The way he's swinging the bat right now leads you to believe that this is quickly becoming a platoon situation between Nix and Mike Morse. It'll be tough to get Nix out of there the way he's turning on the ball.
And they are a run-starved club.
Yes, they are. What have you done for me lately? Play the hot hand.
94 pitches on a hot night, and Freddie Gonzalez is out of the dugout, and I believe he's already made the call to the bullpen. He has. So Tommy Hansen will not face Danny Espinoza, and he will leave with a lead. And he'll need some help from his bullpen tonight to protect a 2-1 lead. From his perspective, he may say he struggled, but he only gave up 1 run tonight.
Yeah, and if there was a struggle, it was mostly with his fastball command, not his breaking stuff. Breaking ball was really good tonight. But again, his pitch count got really high tonight because he couldn't put people away. 84 pitches, 94.
And so he'll give way to Corey Guerin, who answers the AT call to the bullpen.
Corey's last 2 outings have been good against 2 good hitting teams, Milwaukee and Philadelphia. Combined inning and 2/3, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. And now that Peter Moylan is out of the picture for at least 3 months, Corey becomes a more important part of the bullpen.
Espinoza reached on a forced play in the second, walked, stole a base, and was stranded in the 4th. He is 0 for 5 in the series so far. Corey's done a good job of retiring the first hitter, 4 of 6. This is the first time he's inherited a runner in relief. See if he can strand Nix at second and keep this game in the Braves' favor in the 6th.
I would guess that's going to happen more and more often, where he comes in with runners on base. With any young pitcher, you like him to start with a clean inning, just to help give them some confidence so they're not in any trouble. But the responsibilities now in Corey Guerin are a lot heavier than they were when he first came up.
Well, this is where the bullpen has really shined. Only 9 of 49 inherited runners have scored this year. That's 18%. Penn has been a shutdown core.
Well, and he's been good against both sides, too. That slider is devastating on right-handers. Good sinker to the lefties. Lefties are 2 for 10. Right-handers just 2 for 18 against him.
Full count pitch. And he struck him out. There's the first inherited runner stranded for Corey Guerin in his young career. And Tommy Hansen still leads this game by a 2-1 score. My partner and I are ready for a humiliating defeat on our AT&T U-verse trivia question.
Well, I'm going to fire some guesses out there anyway. I got to go with Ryan Howard with all the home runs he hits against the Braves. I'm going to go Ryan Howard and Barry Bonds.
I'll go Dan Uggla and Barry Bonds. Two hitters that have a higher average at Turner Field than Worth.
Well, we got one right. Ryan Giles. How about that? So, 50-50, okay.
And when you consider the pitching that those guys had to face in this ballpark,
yeah,
that's even more impressive.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Hadn't thought about that.
So that's our AT&T U-verse trivia question and answer. Partial credit for the booth. Here's Brian McCann. First pitch swinging, and Nixon left. One out. With all due respect to the Nationals pitcher, I'd like to imagine no Lannon.
Very good. You got that written down
No,
somewhere?
no.
Okay.
Just like so many of the bad ones, it just came to me.
Well, your imagination will probably come true next inning when he's due up second.
Good. This guy's very, very tough on the Braves, but Atlanta scored 2 runs in the first, and so far Tommy Hansen and Corey Guerin have made it stick.
Jerry Hairston, I'd have on some shin guards or something down there with Uggla up. 2 broken bat grounders to him with the barrel of the bat flying at him twice tonight, and one helped Dan get a base hit his last time up.
Lannon creeping up toward 80 pitches in the game. He had a stretch where he retired 5 in a row. Now, Uggla's aboard for Freddie Freeman with 1 out.
Yeah, I thought he did his best pitching of the night, though, in the 4th. He gave up that broken bat single to Uggla, then walked Freeman, and then got out of it. Fly ball, ground ball to the bottom part of the order.
Freddie trying to extend a 3-game hit streak. He's 5 for 11 during that stretch. Just past 9 o'clock here in Atlanta. Braves got 2 in the first on a Brian McCann double. Washington's run came across in the second. Lance Nix chased home Wilson Ramos. Tommy Hansen went 5 2/3 innings, allowing just 5 hits. Lannon still on for the Nationals in a 2-1 game. Braves trying for their 10th home win, their 10th win against the division, and hoping to gain some ground in the Eastern race. And now a visit from the Washington pitching coach.
He's going out there to buy some time. They've got a right-hander up in their bullpen, Big Todd Coffey.
Nationals have a couple of real young pitchers down in their bullpen. Brian Broderick is a Rule 5 guy. They took him from the Cardinals. And they have another kid named Rodriguez. Henry Rodriguez, acquired in a trade with Oakland. He's a kid that can throw 100 miles an hour, but right now has no idea where the ball's going. So from the right side, it's Clippard, Coffey, and Storen, essentially, according to Jim Riggleman right now. Coffey, the first man up today. LaRoche, fair ball at first, flips to second, the tag in time. Wow. How about that slick double play? That's another reason why the Nationals signed Adam LaRoche. That was a marvelous play, and it sends this game to the 7th inning. The tag, the flip, and another quick tag sends it to the 7th. Time for our McDonald's fans of the game. Got a little line dancing working up in the upper tank tonight.
Well, a couple of them anyway, if they could just get it to catch on.
Now they're more into it as we take a look at our AT call to the bullpen.
How good's this guy been? Eric O'Flaherty.
He's been awesome.
Yes, he has. Well done. Last time he gave up a run was April 25th at San Diego.
He's got the 8th place hitter, Hairston, then the pitcher spot, and then the top of the order for Washington.
7 shutout appearances since that game in San Diego when he gave up 1 run. And only 2 hits allowed over that period.
Join the club. I mean, you look at the numbers for the bullpen this month. 24 2/3 innings. 29 strikeouts now. Only 3 earned runs. A 2-0 record and 2 for 3 in saves.
Gotta like that.
That's an ERA of about 1.1. Up the middle, and Hairston singles to start the frame.
Mike Morris was out on deck to hit for the pitcher, but instead it looks like Bixler's going to be sent up there to bunt.
Bixler came on last night. He'll bat for the 2nd time in the series.
No secret what he's up there to do. Chipper saw Morse call back. Chipper well inside the bag.
Interesting, too, Jim Riggleman using a bench player to bunt. Could have John Lannon stay in there and bunt.
Could have, but with a left-handed pitcher, maybe he felt more comfortable having Bixler go up there. Lannon only had 1 sacrifice so far on the year.
There's the bunt. And it's a perfect one.
Got down the line pretty quick, too.
Sacrifice works 2-4. 1 out.
From our vantage point, it looked like maybe it was going to die right in front of home plate and give Brian a chance to cut down the lead runner, but it had enough topspin on it to roll it about halfway out to the mound.
Good night for Lannon. 2 runs, 5 hits in his 6 innings. He's taken down now. And Washington will go to its bench.
Yeah, Morse is going to hit for Bernardina now. Right-hander versus the lefty.
This is a big man in the batter's box.
Got off to a good start, too, but not so good lately. He's cooled off a little bit. Right-handers came into the game hitting .220 against O'Flaherty. Left-handers just 174.
Morse has never had more than 266 at-bats in the major leagues in any one season. That was last year. And in that limited playing time, hit 15 home runs. He came up in the Seattle organization, was originally a shortstop at 6'5", 230 pounds.
Yeah. Good pitch in a good spot. You'll notice that Morse, as big and strong as he is, holds that bat almost straight out in front of him, well away from his body. But to get the swing started, he's got to bring the bat back, and that creates a little bit of a long swing, and Eric tied him up inside.
Popped up into shallow right center. Nate McLeod takes over. Morse pops out. Hairston at second, now 2 down for Desmond.
2 good pitches, and again, didn't allow Morse to extend his arms, tied him up, popped him up. Ryan sets up inside, but he had to pull his hands in to try to get the barrel of the bat to that ball. Put a little loop in his swing, and the pop-up resulted.
Might recall a couple of weeks ago, Chipper Jones said that the 7th inning will be the most important inning the Braves pitch in every game this year.
That's a good point, Chip.
And here we are in a 1-run game. O'Flaherty trying to shut down Washington and keep this thing in the Braves column.
Choice there. Good call by McCann, since he's been in there the whole game. He knows Desmond's gone after the first pitch a couple of times tonight, so they ran a sinker up there off the plate.
Runner trying to steal third. McCann's throw is on target, and Washington ran themselves out of the 7th inning. Hairston was already in scoring position, and the Braves will gladly take that. Summary tonight, another very well-pitched, tight game between the Braves and the Nationals. Atlanta 2, Washington 1 now here in the 7th.
And 3 A's on caps in that lineup there indicates a good night for Atlanta so far. They lead it 2-1. Lance Nix has had another good night at the plate for the Nationals, but some absolutely horrible base running by the Nationals helped O'Flaherty get out of the 7th.
Yeah, Hairston tried to steal third with 2 outs. He was thrown out, and now he's taken out of the game. Bixler in at third base.
Well, look how short his lead was. The Braves have been doing a good job of bird-dogging him to make sure he didn't get a big lead in case there was a hit. And he was flat-footed. He didn't even have a walking lead. He was kind of a dead duck from the beginning, and Brian put a perfect throw on the bag. Thank you very much.
There's a look at Doug Slayton. Look at the year he's had. I mean, let's give some credit to Washington's pen. They've been very, very tough.
Pretty much a left-handed specialist.
Eric Hinske starts it off. And let me correct myself. Hairston's not out of the game. He's out of the game at third base. He moves from third to left. And Nix moves from left to center for Washington.
You've heard this 100 times before, I'm sure, but if you're going to try to steal third with 2 outs, you better be absolutely 100% sure you're going to make it before you go.
High fly, ripped deep right, Worth going back. That one's not coming back.
He was 7 for 14 with 2 homers coming into the game today when he gets the start. That was against the left-handed starter. This is against a left-handed reliever. He's made a great catch in the outfield to save extra bases. And now unloads.
Hinske now 7 for his last 13. 3 of those hits are home runs. And that gives the Braves a little bit more wiggle room. 3-1 game with 1 out in the 7th. Now Mather will pinch it for O'Flaherty.
He hits pretty homers too, doesn't he? Those big, high, majestic fly balls.
Kind of like
pretty.
The way you used to hit them.
Yeah.
Out in Simpson Acres, you know?
Right. Yeah, it's all coming back. Yeah.
Yes, he does. And Slayton is going to be taken down by Jim Riggleman. Slayton only gave up 2 homers all last year. He just gave up a biggie to Eric Hinske, and the Braves extend their lead. by Blimpie, by Toyota, and by Joel and Associates. Doug Slayton gives up a home run to Eric Hinske. That extends the Braves' lead to 3-1. And Washington's bullpen has been tagged in each of these 2 games of the series by some late offensive homer hitting heroics by the Braves. And now Todd Coffey in to punish the Turner Field mound. He's on for the 12th time.
And I mean, when he comes in on the sprint. It's like Laser Baker said, he's like a runaway semi that needs that gravel peel-off thing. Thank goodness the mound's out there to slow him down. Folks, he's listed at 6'4", 240.
Joe Mather faces him first. And a quick strike.
Former Cincinnati Red. Also, last couple of years has pitched for Milwaukee. Out of Forest City, North Carolina.
Mather drives one toward left. And the count now 0-2. Braves touched up Washington's pen last night for 5 runs in the 8th inning. Dan Oakley hit a 3-run homer last night. Eric Hinske hits one off Slayton in the 7th. Nothing wrong with Coffey's arm. He can bring it up there. That pitch at 94.
Big old strong country boy.
Another one of those great stories, we talk about a lot. It's fun to see the first-round picks, the second-round picks, the high draft choices. Coffey was originally a 41st-round draft pick of the Reds in 1998.
And he's got quite a few years under his belt in the big leagues.
First joined the Reds in 2005. And there's the second out. Top of the order, Martin Prado bats. Two-hit game for Prado. An infield hit and a run scored in the first inning. Prado singled to start the 5th and was erased on a double play ball.
Braves trying to implement their 7th, 8th, and 9th inning finishing act with O'Flaherty. Now Venners, who's loosening up to work the 8th. If the Braves still have the lead, and we certainly expect them to, in the 9th it would be Kimbrel.
Now Freddie's relief corps a 2-run lead. And now a 2-strike count to Prado. Coffey came in and threw some nasty pitches, but not before Eric Hinske took Doug Slayton out of the ballpark. Big night for the Diesel. Eric Hinske's home run makes it a 3-1 game going to the 8th. In Atlanta after 7, and Mississippi State fans, Friday on Sports South, catch the premiere of the all-new original Spotlight Mississippi State Athletics. But you can get a sneak peek of the show now, featuring Coach Dan Mullen on FoxSportsSouth.com. Another AT call to the bullpen. As Joe mentioned, Braves have their 7th, 8th, and 9th inning rotation lined up. The 8th inning man is Johnny Venters.
Oh, 92. Thank you, Laser Baker. That would be the ERA of Mr. Venters.
And Joe Mather takes over for Eric Hinske in right. Ian Desmond starts it off and takes ball 2 high.
He was at the plate when Hairston had the brain cramp, got thrown out at third to end the inning, representing the tying run.
There's an interesting story in the paper the other day regarding Johnny Venters. Not only is he a successful pitcher in his own right, he's started to turn his pitching repertoire into a teaching tool for some members of the Braves staff. Talk about that in a sec. Desmond's retired, 1 out. Really a cool story. You know, the great start that Jair Jurgens is off to. Well, part of that might be something Johnny taught him.
Yeah, part of his sinker. He said it calls it the Venters grip. We got to talk to Jair before he pitches on Saturday about that grip. Show the fans how it is different from his normal sinker grip, 2-seamer.
Well, whatever it has been outstanding for JJ.
Well, if you put a lot of stock in how opponents hit against a various pitcher, then against various pitchers, then you should like Johnny Venters' numbers. We talk about his great sinker and slider and how hard he throws. Right-handers are now 7 for 47 against him on the year. That's a sub-150 average. And left-handers are 2 for 18 with 7 strikeouts.
Three balls and a strike to Worth, who has a 1 for 3 game working tonight. Same 2 teams tomorrow night. We'll wrap up the series. Derek Lowe and Jordan Zimmerman get things started at 7:10. And the tying run comes to the plate. That's not what Johnny wanted. 1 on, 1 out. LaRoche the hitter. Following the Braves-Phillies game this Saturday at 1 o'clock, Ludacris and Jermaine Dupri perform a free post-game concert. Saturday is also the Braves' tribute to the Negro Leagues, and the first 20,000 fans will get an Atlanta Black Crackers cap from Coca-Cola. Visit Braves.com/Ludacris today. Folks, if you haven't seen those replica caps, we've got one in the booth. They are great-looking hats.
Nice looking. It'll look real good on you.
Well, that goes without saying. I mean, come on. There you go.
It's real good right over the top
well,
of
you
those
gotta
headphones.
you got to wear the headphones, otherwise you're in big trouble, you know. There you go.
Very nice.
Okay. I could straighten out the bill like Medlin. That's straightened out. What do you think? That'll be on Saturday. Good-looking hat. And hate to use the term for you younger fans, but for those of you who don't really know and understand the history of Negro League baseball and the incredible players that played in the Negro Leagues, hope you'll come out and learn a thing or two about those players, that league, those hardships, and some of those guys who finally did get a chance to, like Jackie Robinson, help break baseball's color barrier.
Going to be a good weekend all around. Beacon Awards Saturday night.
Popped up, foul, and no play for Chipper.
What do you think? A hard charging slider here, or the sinker trying to get the double play ball?
Slider. Nice to have two options, though, isn't it?
And they're two beauties. Can't go wrong either way. Threw it right at the center of the plate, then had it break away off the plate. Not a whole lot LaRoche could do.
Who in your day had a slider like Venter's?
Not from that side, but Jack Morris's slider was as good as I saw. It was nasty.
Yeah. That one was too. And Ramos, the final hope in the Nationals' 8th inning. Did you hear the ball hissing from Morris on the way by?
Only after I'd fouled it off my ankle. There was a lot of hissing going on then.
And Johnny fields his position. And that sets things up beautifully for Atlanta. Braves 3-1 leading. Another runner, 2 wouldn't hurt. Field offensively and defensively for Eric Hinske.
How about our Toyota play of the game? This running catch off the bat of Roger Bernardina. If he doesn't haul it in, that's a double for sure, and maybe a triple. What a great effort by Hinske, the diesel, being imitated here by Peter Moylan, but appreciated by everybody. Great night for him, and of course the leadoff homer in the 7th to give the Braves a little breathing room too.
It's a 3-1 game with the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for the Braves. Atlanta wins tonight. They gain ground on either the Marlins or the Phillies. They're still playing down in Miami.
It's 3-3 last time I checked. Still is late.
And Coffey still on for Washington. Quick strike.
Top of the 9th in Florida.
Phillies are in town this weekend, as you know. And popped up to left. Hairston's out there now. And one out. Here's Chipper. You mentioned last night talking to Chipper, you said that has some things to work on with his swing during this homestand.
Yeah, he wasn't satisfied coming out of the Phillies series with the way he was swinging the bat. Went 1 for 3 last night, though. And that base hit came in his last at bat against Sean Burnett, a tough lefty, so his right-handed swing felt good coming out of the game. And drew a walk, scored a run in the first tonight.
Ooh, that's hooked into the seats, foul.
Took a little off, and Chipper was all over it. A little too quick on it. But again, it was an off-speed pitch. Oh, he got away with one, too. Stayed there in the inner third of the plate. He's lucky that Chipper did pull it foul. Full count. Is he going to try to trick him?
Chipper couldn't stop his swing. Coffey has 3 strikeouts now in an inning and a third.
Like a low slider or cutter. And Chipper had started his swing, and I think that's similar to the pitch that Darryl Cousins has called a ball all night. Would have been ball 4, and that's why Chipper was upset.
2 RBI night for McCann. His double in the first gave Tommy Hansen an early lead. And Tommy started 5 2/3 of 1 run, 5 hit baseball, 94 pitches. He had a lot of base runners. Tommy had 1-1-2-3 inning tonight.
Had to work hard. Didn't have a real good command of his fastball, especially the outside part of the plate to lefties, but he had an excellent breaking ball and worked his way through it. He had runners in scoring position in every inning but one, and only gave up the 1 run on 5 hits.
That's a spot where pitch count is somewhat deceptive. It's stress of pitches, not the number of them.
And it's another good sign, I think, that, you know, he didn't have his best stuff tonight. He might be the first to admit that, but he's still in a position to win the ball game. Held him to 1 run.
Yeah, there are a lot of guys in baseball that would like to struggle like that.
Yeah.
McCann toward right center. That's going to get down and go to the fence. 2 more doubles for Brian McCann. He has 5 for the year. And an insurance run in scoring position with 2 outs in the 8th.
Brian McCann's great because he's one of those guys that can hit a pitch that nobody else can hit. You know, always even hit a loud foul off Coffey, and yet Brian goes up and smokes one into the gap. Take a look at this mistake that Coffey made. Now watch Ramos, the catcher. He's patting the dirt. He wants this ball down. He wanted that, maybe a changeup. Wanted it down low and in the dirt, see if he'd chase, but he left it up. And that little bit of elevation caused a problem.
Here's Ugla. A 1-strike count. By the way, Brian McCann's 10 hits away from 800 already.
Not surprised.
Did he go? Yes, he did. Ugla drops his bat in disbelief. He's rung up, and the Braves are out in the 8th. Did he go?
Yes, he did.
Great catch and a home run. Braves by 2 as we go to the top of the 9th inning. It's Kimbrel time. He answers our AT call to the bullpen.
Coming off a good outing. A save at Philadelphia Sunday night. Got into a little bit of a jam. Gave up a hit and a walk and brought the tying run to the plate, but struck out 2 and picked up his 8th save.
He's got the bottom part of the order coming up for Washington in the 9th. Nix, Espinosa, and Hairston are due. Washington also has Matt Stairs lurking on their bench as a pinch hitter should it get down to the 9th spot in the order. But Nix to start it.
And get the first guy. Won't give him any hope.
Nix has 2 hits and an RBI single tonight. 66 plate appearances without a walk for Nix. And a leadoff hit the other way. A 3-hit game for Lance Nix.
I don't know if he was thinking about that, if he had a plan going up looking for the breaking ball. He took the first one for a strike, but he got one out away from him there and just decided to go the other way, and it worked.
That's his first 3-hit game of the year. And now Espinosa with 1 on and none out.
Like to keep the double play in order so they hold Nix at first. But the guy at the plate's the runner you worry about because he represents the potential tying run.
2 97-mile-an-hour pitches back to back. Make it 3 in a row.
A little tardy. Mr. Espinosa may have been trying or hoping for a breaking ball himself. McCann wanted it upstairs. Kimbrell tried to get a little higher, but didn't matter. Espinosa very late on it.
Here's Hairston. Big play in this game was his decision to try to steal third base with 2 outs in a very tight portion of this game. Braves led by a run at that point. And he makes up for it with a single to center on the first pitch. Now the potential go-ahead run comes to the plate, and indeed it is going to be Matt Stairs.
That fastball, at least on the stadium radar gun, was 99, and Hairston jumped all over it. Matt Stairs loves the ball down and in. He loves to golf the ball, and he is very good at it. You get it in his happy zone. He's going to be trying to hit one into the bullpen.
He is the he's the all-time leader in pinch hit homers with 23.
Keep the ball away from him there with the fastball, and just missed. Doesn't run well. Ground ball. Good chance of getting 2. But he is a lift and separate guy.
$16,692 the attendance tonight. And the Nationals 2 on, 1 out in a 2-run game, top of the 9th. And 4 straight loads the bases. Alex Cora off the bench. A .222 average. Jason Marquis will pinch run for Stairs at first.
Cora's not a long ball threat, but he's a guy who can handle the bat, put the ball in play, chokes up on the bat as you see. And they don't really need a long ball right now. They need a base hit to try to tie it up.
Cora's had a hot hand lately, 5 for his last 14. That's on the current Washington trip. Ball 1, strike 1.
He's got plenty on his fastball tonight.
Up the middle, off the second base bag. 2 runs are going to score. Runner to third. Now Cora to second. That throws off target. A pinch hit single for Alex Cora ties the game. And Nate McLeod tried to get Jason Marquis at third. That allowed Cora to take second, and the double play out of order in the ninth.
Right past him. His follow-through took him away from the center of the diamond, and the ground ball went right by him. Otherwise, it's a comebacker and a chance for an easy double play. And, of course, when the ball hit the bag, that slowed it down enough that there's no play at the plate. And Nate trying to throw on the run didn't have anything on his throw, and that allowed Cora to advance, too.
3 singles and a walk has tied this game for Washington in the ninth. And now the infield comes in for Ian Desmond, who's 1 for 4 in the game. So Craig can't earn the save. Now he's got to try to keep it tied.
I thought when he struck out Espinosa, especially the way he made him look, that he gained some confidence from that. And then all of a sudden, Hairston turns around a 99-mile-an-hour fastball on the first pitch. Kind of put a dent in that confidence, and he walked stairs.
That's right down the middle. Desmond couldn't pull the trigger.
Got caught looking for a slider.
Now Worth hits. RBI chances for Worth have been few and far between. He's got 2 aboard with 2 outs in the ninth.
Faced Kimbrel once before and doubled off of him. And I should say another at bat where he walked. Another guy that got caught guessing, looking for the slider, or curveball as Craig calls it.
If he throws one here, Brian's got to make sure he knocks it down if it's in the dirt.
He's been calling for some high fastballs ahead in the count. Let's see where the target is.
He overpowered Worth. Craig strikes out the side in the ninth, but Alex Cora ties the game at 3. A 3-3 game. And Sean Burnett is on to pitch for the Nationals. Joe mentioned he's done some closing for them in the past.
He had a rough night last night in that 8th inning when the Braves scored their 5 runs. He was brought in to pitch to Chipper, and he gave up an RBI single right away to Chipper and then walked McCann, the only 2 batters he faced.
Alex Cora did the damage at the plate. His RBI single tied the game at 3, and he'll play third base. Freddie Freeman first. Brooks Conrad's grabbed a bat. He's on deck. And Nate McLouth. As you know, Freddie's done some of his best work at the plate this year against left-handed pitching.
Absolutely has. Never flinches.
And I'll bet you he's fouled about 6 balls straight back through the legs of the catcher tonight.
There's that spot. They come right up under his hands. And when he dives into the plate, it's a tough pitch to handle. Try to get the barrel of the bat to that.
No swing. Ramos came out of the chute ready to throw it to third.
Nationals have Tyler Clippard loosening up in their pen as well. He gave up the home run to Ugla last night.
LaRoche bobbles but kept it in front. And Freeman's the first out. Near miss for Brooks Conrad last night. Maybe a little justice due him tonight.
Just about everybody in the ballpark thought he had tied the game except Roger Bernardino, who was playing so deep. All he had to do was cut across to haul that one in. Just about any other part of the ballpark, and Brooks has a 9th inning game-tying homer.
The Phillies ended up winning their game tonight. They beat the Marlins and Leo Nunez in the 9th. Braves have to win this one to stay 4 back of Philadelphia.
Good eye by Brooks there on that pitch running away from him. Chase that high fastball, because you give him anything hard, especially something up, he's going to try to cut it loose. He realized about halfway through his swing it was a little too far out of his zone, but it's always nice knowing he's going to be pulling the trigger.
Two outs. Here's Nate. He's 1 for 3.
Todd Coffey had a good inning in 2/3, struck out 4 guys. Now Burnett has a strikeout.
Should this game go into extra innings, you might have heard Jerome's interview with Jason Hayward before the game. He is in uniform, but didn't sound optimistic about his pinch hitting ability. We'll see if that comes into play, as this game indeed is going to extra innings. 3-3 our score. We go to the 10th in Atlanta. Are presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, feed your wild side. And in the early going, Joe, both the Braves and Nationals have been busy during bonus baseball time.
Nationals have a better record in extra innings. They're 4-1. Braves are 1-3.
And now George Sherrill will answer the AT call to the bullpen. Rough ninth for Craig Kimbrell. 3 hits, a walk, 2 runs, 3 strikeouts. And his third blown save of the season. Now Sherrill will try to keep the Nationals off the board and get this game back in the hands of the Braves batters.
He last pitched on the 7th at Philadelphia, an inning and a third, zeros across with a strikeout. He's had a good run. No runs allowed in his last 8 outings.
LaRoche, Ramos, and Nix coming up. Sherrill's in the game. The Braves have Scott Linebrink down in their bullpen. I'll bet you they'd try like crazy to stay away from Christian Martinez if they could after 3 innings last night.
Good breaking ball.
And a 91-mile-an-hour fastball retires LaRoche.
George has rediscovered a little bit of zip on his fastball. It's a little better than it was in spring training at the beginning of the year. Always effective against left-handed hitters, but he's airing it out.
I know a lot of folks in the Southeast, their thoughts and prayers have gone out to the folks in North Georgia, Alabama, all the horrible tornadoes. George Sherrill is from Memphis, and they're going through some tough times too with all the flooding in the Mississippi River. So I hope you'll keep those folks in mind too during these troubled weather times.
One ball, one strike. Wilson Ramos.
Braves are in better shape from an extra player standpoint. Atlanta still has David Ross, Diori Hernandez, and Jason Hayward available. Again, not sure about Hayward's exact availability, but as he put it, he'd probably be the last option. And by my count, the Washington roster only has Pudge Rodriguez left.
That's what I've got too. And a one-out walk puts Ramos on in the 10th inning. And here's Nix. Last guy in the world you'd think would go the other way for a base hit, but that's exactly what he did in the 9th inning to start things off in that Washington 2-run rally.
I mean, he's such a dead pull hitter that must have been his whole approach to go up and look for the breaking ball and do what he did, which is just put it in play through the hole.
Two. So no decision for Tommy Hansen tonight. No decision for John Lannon tonight. This game in the hands of the bullpens.
The good thing for Freddie Gonzalez and the bench is that even though the 9th spot is due up first in the bottom of the 10th, Joe Mather is there. He was plugged in there and left in the game earlier tonight. Conrad hit for the pitcher spot, so you've got a ways to go to get to that spot in the order.
That one bounces away from Bryan, and Ramos will move up. That'll be a wild pitch.
Bryan's done an outstanding job all night long. Blocking pitches in the dirt, did a great job for Hansen, but couldn't corral that one.
So the double play out of order. You do have 2 strikes on Nix and a big lumbering catcher out at second base. That pitch in a perfect spot.
Fastball up, threw it above his hands, and he couldn't catch up.
So Nix down on strikes. Ramos at second with 2 outs. And Freddie Gonzalez is going to again go to his bullpen. He's running through them tonight in a 3-3 game in the 10th. In this 10th inning. And there's only one man left down in that Braves pen. Christian Martinez remains for Scott Linebrink is on.
He also pitched on the 7th of May, but only a third of an inning. Well rested, but he's in a situation, provided he gets out of this inning, and depending on how long it takes for the Braves to score, he might have to go multiple innings, and he hasn't done that very often.
So Danny Espinosa with Ramos at second and 2 out. Laser Baker made a good point during the break. All these guys in tonight. What if Derek Lowe's blister pops up early in the game tomorrow?
Well, nobody's thrown a lot tonight. The longest outing by anybody was 1 full inning. It's not like anybody was taxed. What you just hope is that Linebrink gets through this and he looks sharp. Gets through this, and then the Braves get a run and put it in the books.
As you mentioned, 9-1-2 coming up in the 10th for the Braves, and 2 strikes on Espinosa with 2 out.
Got Espinosa to chase up in the zone late on a fastball from Kimbrel in the 9th.
And he got him to chase a ball in the dirt. Second straight inning, the Braves relief corps strikes out the side. Now they try to win it in the bottom of the 10th. And the Nationals go to their bullpen again and bring on their closer, right-hander Drew Storen. And here's how we've gotten 2 extra innings tonight.
First of all, Braves are up 2-1 when Eric Hinske led off the 7th with what looked like a perfect insurance run. His 4th homer of the year gave the Braves a 3-1 lead, but then in the top of the 9th, bases loaded. Alex Cora pinch hitting, hits one off the second base bag, drives in 2 to tie it. This is odd to me. Some funny stuff going on here, but to bring your closer in a tie game in extra innings might say something for the confidence that Jim Riggleman doesn't have in some of the other guys like Rodriguez or Broderick. He's also got Tyler Clippard, and Clippard was up earlier tonight. Maybe he's, a little tender or something, and you can't use him tonight.
Yeah, Jim told me yesterday, as much as he likes those youngsters, Broderick and Rodriguez, they're not ready quite yet for these kind of tight games, and he likes to have somebody behind them if he needs them. It's not to say he won't use them. And hey, this is a big game for Washington. They win this one, they're back at 500.
Clippard's certainly capable of finishing a game if Storen goes through the order. I mean, goes through the lineup here, gets 1, 2, 3, and then the Nats score. Clippard's certainly capable of closing if they need him to, if Storen can't go a multiple inning.
If I'm not mistaken, Storen's spot is the 9th spot on their lineup card, which is coming up second if we get to the 11th inning.
That's right. Let's not get there. Let's take care of business right here.
Mather down on strikes. One away in the 10th. Top of the order now, Martin Prado.
Six strikeouts for Braves batters over the last 2-3 innings. Storen last night a 1-2-3 inning, but it was scary for him when Conrad hit that deep fly to center. It almost went out of here. Did not fan anybody.
Yeah, you made a good point about Clippard too. Remember that season opening series with Washington? We both came away from that series asking, why in the world isn't Clippard closing?
Especially when this guy was scuffling and coming out of spring training. Yeah, he's tough.
Lined and caught at second. What a play by Espinoza.
Good piece of hitting here by Martin, lining the slider, but what a play by Espinoza. He was getting some help too. Not only did he go up the ladder and snow cone it, but he and Desmond over at shortstop jumped almost as high trying to help him out.
Here's Alex Gonzalez.
This always cracks me up. Watch Desmond, the shortstop. He's jumping too. That was a herky, wasn't it? Yeah.
To third. And Cora with a clean pick. And 1, 2, 3 and out go the Braves. 7 up, 7 down in the late innings. We indeed do go to the 11th. Again, friends, extra innings presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, feed your wild side. Scott Linebrink out for a full inning. He's got Hairston, then the pitcher spot, and then Alex Cora for the Nationals. One ball, one strike. Popped up to first. One out.
Last position player available for Jim Riggleman on his bench. So once Rodriguez does what he's going to do, they're out of players, but they're in good shape with their bullpen. Braves have bench players available, but they're getting real thin in the pen.
Pudge Rodriguez, a Hall of Fame career. Friday at Florida, logged his 1,200th win as a catcher. Trying to get to 3,000 hits. No catcher's done that. He's got 2,829 of them. An All-Star 14 times, a Gold Glover 13 times, and a 7-time Silver Slugger.
That'll do it. Punch your ticket.
And as we talked about last night, knowing that Ramos is the catcher of the present and future, this guy hasn't said a word other than, I'll do everything I can to help him become a terrific catcher.
I know he'd like to get to 3,000 hits. I just don't think it's in the cards.
And Linebrink hits him with a 1-2 count.
Not the only guy to hit. Got Brian McCann too on the ricochet.
Scott's hit some people this year, hasn't he? That's a second hit batsman now in 11 innings. He got David Freese of the Cardinals and broke his hand. Here's Cora.
He may be over 7 against Linebrink, but he's 1 for 1 off Craig Kimbrell tonight. I do remember that. A big hit back through the middle.
Pudge running, and Cora fills the gap on the right side. Washington on a hit and run has him first and third with 1 out.
What a night for Alex Cora coming off the bench. And of course, when you run out of position players, you're a little desperate to try to get a run across. So they put on an immediate hit and run. And Cora executes beautifully.
Now, Desmond's got to make some contact. First and third, 1 out.
Now McCann's got to give the infielders and the pitcher some signs to let them know what he's going to do at the baseball if Cora runs.
This is an amazing game. Dave Baker tells us that Washington has had a runner in scoring position in every inning tonight but the 8th and the 5th.
Right.
That's 9 of the 11.
Yeah.
That is a fair ball. Ian Desmond made contact and doubles to left. Pudge scores. Getting the green light is Cora. He's going to come home and score. It's an RBI double, and the Washington Nationals have gotten off the deck to lead 5-3.
And it started with a hit batsman. This one was painted right over the bag. And while Desmond didn't hit a homer, he does some more damage to Atlanta again.
His 7th double, his 13th and 14th RBI. And now Worth hits with 1 out. McCann will try to throw out Desmond and can't get him. And the Nationals, folks, are fired up.
And a good call by Jim Wolf.
Now the infield comes in for Worth. And he rockets one deep left. A 2-run homer. And the Nationals have erupted for 4 in the 11th. And lead 7-3.
Second homer of the series for Worth. And his 4th and 5th RBIs with that nice short quick swing. Short follow through, both hands on the bat, and the ball just jumped off his bat.
LaRoche a single to right. And this is Scott's game. There's nobody up. Dave Wallace will let Scott catch his breath here. He's been hit awfully hard. 4 hits, 4 runs, and a hit batsman.
Tyler Clippard will try and finish the game for the Nationals. He's loosening up now after they hit for Drew Storen. The hit batsman on a 1-2 count got it all going. And some guys going up there free swinging now.
Broken bat. Alex with the tag and the throw. What a play. Ramos is doubled up, but not before the Nationals break this game open. Braves have their work cut out for them in the bottom half of the inning. It's now a 7-3 Washington game. stopped the Nationals from going to 5-1 in extra innings this year. That's pretty remarkable. Tyler Clippard takes over on the mound. Pudge Rodriguez stays in the game behind the plate. And Chipper Jones will lead things off for the Braves.
Worked here last night, gave up a home run to Ugla that brought the Braves back within a run. And he's warmed up a couple of 3 times tonight. We'll see what he's got left in the tank. This is not a save situation. League only hitting a .194 against him, though. 14 hits allowed in 21 2/3 innings. The home run by Ugla, the second he's allowed this year. But a big hill to climb here in the 11th.
Two balls and a strike.
Nice 4-run lead for Clippard. All he's got to do is relax and let it fly, and he can throw hard.
Well, Tyler truly was a Yankee Clippard. He was originally a New York Yankee farmhand. Got to the big leagues with the Pinstripers back in 2007. Washington got him in a deal for Jonathan Albaladejo after the 2007 year. And Chipper greets him with an extra base hit to left center. Good start to the 11th. Chipper has his first base hit of the game.
His 12th double ties for the league lead with Carlos Beltran and Jose Reyes. And that was a good at bat. He had some good swings, fouling off a couple of pitches before he got that one.
That double for Chipper Jones, number 505.
Breaks a tie, I think, with Robbie Alomar among switch hitters. So Chipper's all by himself in third place for doubles by a switch hitter.
55 behind Eddie Murray, who's second. To Pete Rose in that category. Here's Brian McCann. Chipper to third, but one out. Lowe and Zimmerman in the series wrap up tomorrow night. Will it be for a sweep for the Nationals, or will the Braves and Washington play the rubber game tomorrow? Braves need 4 runs for the latter to happen, or at least have a chance to have it happen. To third. 2 out. Freddie Freeman, the last hope.
This has got to go in the books as one of the best wins of the year for Washington, I would guess. Down 3-1 in the 9th on the road with Kimbrel out there, and come back and tie.
Well, they have been battle-tested, as we told you. The Nationals have played just 2 teams with losing records all year coming into this series. And they're 1 out away from getting back to 500 and winning this series outright against the Braves.
And winning back-to-back series within the division on the road. They beat the Florida Marlins 2 out of 3 before they came to town.
That one went right through the screen. Everybody's all right. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's your ball game. Washington Nationals get 2 in the 9th against Craig Kimbrell. They get 4 in the 11th against Scott Linebrink. And they have won this series outright, beating the Braves tonight by a final of 7-3. And Alex Cora is tonight's Home Depot player of the game.
Tied it up with this bouncer right back through the box that hit the bag to slow it down enough for the tying run to score. Had himself quite a night and helped take part in the 4-run 11th inning as well. Big night for him.
So Drew Storen wins it. Scott Linebrink suffers his first loss as a Brave. And that is indeed your final score in 11. Coming up next, it's Braves Live. Post-game interviews, Freddie Gonzalez sound, and all of tonight's highlights from Turner Field. For Joe Simpson and the crew, Chip Carey inviting you to stay tuned for Braves Live. It's coming up next. Good night.